Do you know what signs and changes the human body undergoes in the few days before death? 3 days before death, your body has actually quietly entered a low-power state. At this time, your awake time continues to decrease, and your daily drowsy time can reach 18 to 20 hours. Even if woken up, you will soon fall into a deep sleep again. When being fed water or food, you will also instinctively turn your head to avoid it, and may even vomit. This is because your body has already started to shut down the digestive function. At the same time, you may also start to say some confusing words. For example, dazedly saying you see deceased relatives, shouting about wanting to go home, or constantly waving your hands in front of your eyes. This is most likely hallucinations that occur before death. Your breathing also becomes shallow and irregular. Sometimes it will suddenly become rapid, and gurgling sounds will come from your throat, as if blocked by phlegm, but unable to cough it up. 1 day before death, some people will experience the so-called phenomenon of a temporary recovery before death. People who were originally in a coma suddenly become conscious, able to talk to others, take the initiative to ask for food, and even look radiant. This is just like a mobile phone with only 1% battery left suddenly lighting up, but this state will disappear soon. Some people speculate that this is the final signal sent by the brain before death, distributing all adrenaline to various organs, allowing the body to use its last strength to complete unfinished matters and say a final goodbye to family members. In the final hours before death, your eyelids start to half close, and your eyes become unfocused. At this time, large purple-red spots will appear on your knees and the soles of your feet. This means that blood flow is extremely slow. Breathing becomes weaker and weaker, and the intervals between breaths become longer and longer. At this point, the body has little energy left, unable to support the skeleton any longer. At the very last moment of life, as a long breath is exhaled, a gurgling sound will come from the throat. At this time, the airway has closed, and breathing stops. A few minutes later, the heartbeat will also disappear accordingly. At this moment, the brain suffers from severe oxygen deprivation. Under the influence of various chemicals and hormones, various hallucinations may appear in the brain. Past images of previous experiences will flash by quickly like a movie and play in the mind like a slideshow. One will quickly review one's entire life and even observe everything around from another perspective, as if walking to the end of a tunnel and seeing a beam of light attracting oneself. Some people call this phenomenon the horse lantern effect, which has also been observed in some near-death experience survivors. When the brain runs out of oxygen and all brain cells die, a person's life comes to an end. Sometimes death does not come suddenly but is a long goodbye.